The funeral was silent. Then Maya walked in, 6 months pregnant, and every head turned. Not because she was late, because she was black, pregnant, and standing in a room full of Korea's most dangerous men. Here's the thing. She wasn't supposed to be there. Nobody invited her. But the old man, he put her in the will, and these people, they wanted her dead. Rewind 6 months. This is Maya Chen, 23, from Atlanta. She came to Seoul 2 years ago to teach English. Visa got denied, jobs dried up, and she ended up broke. Like eating convenience store triangle kimbap for every meal broke. Then her mom back in Atlanta got diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. Surgery cost $47,000. Maya didn't have 47. So she borrowed from some seriously dangerous people in Itaewon. The kind who don't accept, I'll pay you back next month. Welcome to First Epic Tales by Liam Besties. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's when the job posting appeared. Private caregiver for an elderly Korean man. $8,000 a month. No experience required. Red flags everywhere. She took it anyway. The address wasn't a house. It was a compound. Maya's taxi stopped at a gate with armed guards. The driver looked at her like, "You sure about this?" She wasn't. But $8,000 is $8,000. Inside, she met Han Ji-soo, Kang Tae-min's wife. Ice-cold woman in a white Chanel suit, didn't smile, didn't bow, just looked Maya up and down and said in English, "You'll care for my husband. If he dies on your watch, you'll regret coming to Korea." Then she walked away. Looking back, that was her only warning. She thought he'd be some fragile old man. He wasn't. Kang Tae-min sat shirtless in silk pajama pants. Full-sleeve tattoos, dragons, tigers, Korean characters crawling up both arms. Gaunt, but intimidating. Oxygen tubes in his nose. He stared at her for a full 10 seconds, then said in perfect English, "They sent me a black woman. Are you an assassin?" Maya froze. "No?" "Good. The last 3 nurses quit. My family scared them off." He studied her face. "You speak Korean?" "조금요." "A little." He switched to Korean. "Why 한국에 왔어요?" "Why did you come to Korea?" She answered in broken Korean. He corrected her pronunciation, not meanly, patiently like a teacher. That's when she realized this man was sharp, dying but sharp. He asked her one question that day that stuck with her. "Are you afraid of me?" She lied and said no. He smiled. "You should be." Maya thought caregiving meant helping an old man take his meds. Turns out, it meant surviving his family. At lunch the next day, she brought Tae-min's tray to the dining room. Elegant table. Han Ji-soo at the head. 3 daughters, Sora, 27, sharp eyes like her mother. Minji, 24, scrolling her phone. Yuna, 18, silent and watching. Lee Junho sat beside Sora, tattooed neck, gold Rolex catching the light. Maya set down the tray. The daughters stared at her like she was a cockroach. Sora spoke in Korean. "Why Hyuginia? Why is she black?" Minji laughed. "She probably can't even understand us." Maya kept her face neutral. She understood every word. That night, Maya served Tae-min dinner in his room. He asked, "What did my daughters say to you?" "Nothing important." He looked at her. "You understood them, didn't you?" She hesitated, nodded. He sighed. "My family is poison. Stay away from them." She should have listened. But here's the thing. You can't avoid people when you live in the same house. And they were watching her. Constantly. 3 months in, Tae-min told her something that changed everything. They were on the rooftop garden. Evening light washing over Seoul's skyline. Tae-min in his wheelchair, Maya adjusting his blanket. "I'm dying, Maya. 4 months left, maybe less." She already knew. His coughing fits were getting worse. "My empire, everything I built, dies with me. No son to inherit, Korean law, tradition, underworld rules. It all requires a male heir." He looked at her directly. "My daughters can't inherit. My wife wants to sell everything to my rivals. 30 years of work, gone." Maya stayed quiet. This wasn't her problem. Then he said, "I need your help." She laughed nervously. "I'm just your caregiver." "I know, that's why I'm asking you." He didn't ask that day, but she saw it in his eyes. He was planning something, and whatever it was, it involved her. 2 weeks later, he asked her to do the unthinkable. They were in his private study, morning light through traditional Korean windows, legal documents spread across his desk. Maya standing confused. I need you to carry my son. Maya's brain short-circuited. What? A child. My heir. I'll pay you 120 million won. That's about 90,000 US dollars. She should have walked out, but he kept talking. 20 million up front, 100 million when the baby is born. Legal contract. I'll clear your debts, fix your visa, protect your family. All you have to do is carry my child for 9 months. This is insane. It's business. He pulled out a photo. Young Tae-min, maybe 25, holding a baby, smiling, no tattoos yet. I had a son once, stillborn. I never recovered. This is my last chance at a legacy. Not the Baeko syndicate. A son. Maya's hands shook. Why me? Because you're desperate, and I trust desperate people. They're honest about what they want. She said yes. Not that day, 3 days later. But she said yes. And that decision, it almost killed her. Getting pregnant was clinical. Awkward. Tae-min could barely stand without help, but it worked. 3 months later, she confirmed it. She was carrying Kang Tae-min's son. He cried when she told him. Actually cried. We keep the secret until I'm ready to tell my family. They'll try to stop this. Why would they? Because if this baby is born, they inherit nothing. He told them 1 month later, at a family dinner, and all hell broke loose. Sora looked at Maya like she wanted to kill her. Honestly, she probably did. Han Ji-soo stood, face pale with rage. The daughters whispered to each other. Lee Jun-ho smirked. Han Ji-soo spoke first, in Korean. Igeon maldo an dwai? This is ridiculous, Tae-min responded calmly. The child is mine. He will inherit everything. Anyone who harms Maya or the baby will be cut from my will entirely. Sora slammed her hand on the table. She's using you! She's a gold digger! She's carrying my son. Show respect. Lee Jun-ho leaned back, laughing. Hyungnim, you really think this baby will survive? Silence. Tae-min's voice dropped. Dangerous. Repeat that. Jun-ho shut up. After they left, Maya asked, Do you really think they'll try to hurt me? Tae-min looked at her. I know they will. That night, Hwang Dae-sung, Tae-min's head of security, moved into the room next to hers. She didn't sleep. The threats started small. Then they got serious. Week 1, Maya's herbal tea tasted bitter. She spit it out. Dae-sung had it tested. Poison. Week 2, her car brakes failed. She crashed into a wall. Minor injuries. Baby was fine. Week 3, someone pushed her down the stairs. She caught herself on the railing. Dae-sung tackled the man before he could finish the job. It was Jun-ho. Tae-min exploded. Had Jun-ho beaten and expelled from the estate? Sora didn't speak to her father for 2 weeks. Maya sat in Tae-min's room one night, shaking. I want to leave. I'm sending you to Vancouver, 2 more months. When the baby can survive premature birth, you're gone. What about you? I'll be dead by then anyway. She had 6 weeks left in Seoul. She just had to survive 6 weeks. She didn't make it. They came for her on the way to the airport. 3 black SUVs, guns. Dae-sung was driving. Maya in the back seat, private jet waiting at Gimpo Airport. Dae-sung glanced in the rearview mirror. Kaga dwie iseo. Cars behind us. Maya looked back. 3 SUVs, close, then gunfire, glass shattered. Dae-sung swerved hard. Maya screamed, covering her belly. He shouted, Iopterio, get down! She ducked. Bullets punched through metal. The engine roared as Dae-sung weaved through traffic. Cars honked, people screamed. Maya's ears rang, her hands pressed against her stomach, whispering, Please be okay. Please be okay. They made it to the airport access road. Dae-sung's shoulder was bleeding, dark stains spreading across his shirt. I'll be fine. Get on that plane. 2 more cars blocked the road ahead. Dae-sung grabbed his gun, looked at Maya. Run. He kicked open his door, fired, covering her. Maya ran. Pregnant, stumbling, crying, her legs burned, her lungs screamed, gunfire behind her. She didn't look back. Security grabbed her at the terminal, rushed her through private screening. On the plane, she looked out the window. Dae-sung's body on the tarmac, covered by a sheet. He died getting her out. She made it to Vancouver alive, barely. Kang Tae-min died 3 days later. She thought she was safe. Then the lawyer showed up. Attorney Shin Mi-ra, sharp suit, leather briefcase, standing in Maya's Vancouver apartment doorway. Ms. Chen, I'm here on behalf of Kang Tae-min's estate. Maya, 6 months pregnant, exhausted. He's dead? Yes. 3 days ago, I have his will. The will was brutal. 80% of the estate to a trust for the unborn son. 10% to Maya, roughly $12 million US, 5% each to the 3 daughters. Han Ji-soo got nothing. Han Ji-soo contested immediately. Court sided with Tae-min's will. Attorney Shin handed Maya an envelope. He wrote this before he died. For you. Maya opened it. Handwritten letter. Shaky handwriting. Maya, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Thank you for giving me hope in my final months. The baby. Our son, he's my second chance. Not at the Baeko syndicate. At being a father. I've arranged everything. You're safe. He's safe. Raise him away from this world. Let him choose his own path. If he wants the syndicate, the money, the power, it's his. But if he wants to be a teacher, a doctor, a normal man, let him. You gave me more than a son. You gave me peace. Thank you. Tae-min, she cried for an hour. Then she went into labor. She gave birth 3 weeks early. Healthy baby boy. 6 pounds, 2 ounces. She named him Kai Chen Kang. Not Tae-min, not fully Korean, not fully her name either, his own name. The nurses asked, "Where's the father?" "He's gone." They didn't push. Attorney Shin visited the hospital 2 days later. The family is furious. They've hired investigators. They want custody. Maya held Kai closer. Can they take him? Not legally, but they have resources. Stay vigilant. She left Vancouver 2 months later. New city, new name, new life. But she kept the letter. 5 years later, Kai asked her a question she wasn't ready for. They were in their small apartment in Portland. Morning light through the windows, toys scattered across the floor. Kai, 5 years old, black Korean features, playing with toy cars. Mommy, where's my daddy? Maya froze. She'd prepared for this moment, rehearsed it in her head 100 times, but now that it was here, the words stuck in her throat. She walked to her bedroom, pulled out the envelope from her nightstand. Inside was the photo, young Tae-min holding a baby. She sat down beside Kai, showed him. That's your father. He died before you were born. Kai stared at the photo, traced his finger over Tae-min's face. Was he nice? Maya's chest tightened. Yeah, he was. Did he want me? Tears burned her eyes. More than anything. Kai looked up at her. Do I look like him? A little. You have his eyes. She didn't tell him about the Baeko syndicate, the money sitting in a trust account, the criminal empire worth $400 million, the family that wanted him dead before he was born. Not yet. One day, he'd have to know. But today he was just her son. She knows they'll come for him eventually, the family, the syndicate, the life Tae-min left behind. The money sits in a trust. Waiting, growing. Lawyers send her updates every quarter. She never opens them. On his 18th birthday, Kai will learn everything, the will, the empire, the truth about who his father really was. She doesn't know what he'll choose. Maybe he'll walk away, build his own life, go to college, become a teacher or a doctor or whatever he wants. Maybe he'll go to Seoul, claim what's his, take over the Baeko syndicate, step into the world that almost killed his mother. She hopes he chooses himself, not the money, not the legacy, just himself. But some nights she wakes up in a cold sweat, checks the locks on the doors, looks out the window for black SUVs because she knows Han Ji-soo is still alive. Sora, Minji, Yuna, still bitter, still watching, and one day, they might come for Kai. Attorney Shin calls her once a year, always the same questions. Have you been contacted by anyone from the family? No. Any unusual activity? Strangers watching you? No. Good. Stay vigilant. The calls are brief, professional, but Maya hears the concern beneath the lawyer's calm voice. Last year, Shin told her something that kept her up for weeks. Sora hired a private investigator. He found your old address in Vancouver. You moved just in time. Maya's blood went cold. What does she want? Custody. Or worse. Can she? No. Legally, she has no claim. But law doesn't always matter to people like them. Maya thinks about running again, changing names, moving to some small town where no one knows her. But Kai just started kindergarten. He has friends, a life. She can't keep uprooting him because of ghosts from a past he doesn't remember. So she stays. And she watches. Some days she looks at Kai and sees Tae-min, the shape of his jaw, the way he tilts his head when he's thinking, the stubbornness in his eyes when he wants something. It scares her, and it comforts her. Because Tae-min wasn't just a crime lord. He wasn't just the dragon of Gangnam or the head of the Baeho syndicate. He was a man who cried when he found out he was going to be a father again. A man who spent his last months teaching her Korean, telling her stories about his childhood, showing her photos of a life before the tattoos and the violence. He was complicated, dangerous, but human, and Kai deserves to know that version of him too. She keeps the letter in a safety deposit box now, along with the photo. A few other things. Taemin's watch, a jade pendant he wore, documents she might need one day. When Kai turns 18, she'll give him the key. Let him decide what to do with it all. Until then, she's his mother, and her job is to keep him safe. Even if that means keeping secrets. Portland is quiet, safe, boring in the best way. Kai goes to school, plays soccer, comes home covered in mud, asks for chicken nuggets for dinner. Normal kid things. Maya works remotely now. Freelance translation, Korean to English. It pays enough. The trust fund interest covers the rest, funneled through shell companies, so no one can trace it back to the Kang family. She's careful, always careful. But sometimes, late at night, she wonders if careful is enough. Last month, a black car idled outside their apartment for 20 minutes. Maya watched from the window, phone in hand, ready to call the police. The car left. Probably nothing, probably. She didn't sleep that night. Kai noticed, asked if she was okay. She smiled, said she was fine, made him pancakes for breakfast, and sent him off to school like everything was normal. Because that's what mothers do. They carry the fear so their children don't have to. She thinks about Dae-sung sometimes, the way he looked at her in that car, the way he said, run. He didn't have to die for her, for Kai. But he did, and she owes it to him, to all of them, to make sure Kai gets a choice. Not a life handed to him, not a destiny carved in blood and money, a choice. Kai asks about Korea sometimes. Do I have family there? Yes. Will I meet them? Maya hesitates. Maybe, when you're older. How much older? When you're ready. He accepts this, for now, but she sees the questions building in his eyes, the curiosity, the need to know where he comes from. She can't hide him forever. Attorney Shin sent an email last week. Subject line, urgent, family contact attempt. Maya's stomach dropped. The email was brief. Han Ji-soo's lawyers reached out, requesting a meeting with Kai, offering to fly Maya and Kai to Seoul, all expenses paid, no strings attached. Maya deleted it. But the next day, another email, then another. They're not going away. Shin advised her to ignore them. They have no legal grounds. You're under no obligation to respond. But Maya knows how this works. Ignoring them won't make them stop. It'll make them more aggressive. She's considering a meeting. Neutral ground, public place, attorney Shin present, just to see what they want. Or maybe that's exactly what they want her to think. She doesn't know anymore. What she does know is this. Kai is getting older, smarter. He'll start asking harder questions soon, and she needs to have answers ready. Last week, Kai came home from school upset. Another kid asked why he didn't have a dad, asked if his dad left because he didn't want him. Maya held him, told him his father loved him more than anything, that he would have given anything to be here. Kai looked up at her. Then why isn't he? Because sometimes life isn't fair, baby. Sometimes good people die too soon. He cried. She cried. And for the first time, she wished Tae-min was still alive. Not for the money, not for protection, just so Kai could know his father, so he wouldn't have to grow up with this empty space where a dad should be. But wishing doesn't change anything, so she does what she's always done. She gets up, she keeps going, she protects her son. There's a park near their apartment. Kai loves the swings. They go every Saturday. Last Saturday, Maya watched him play. Golden hour sunlight, other kids running around, parents chatting on benches. Normal, safe, beautiful. But she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching. She scanned the park. Nothing. Just families, dog walkers, joggers. Still. The feeling stayed. She called Kai over early. He protested, wanted 5 more minutes. She said no. They left. That night, she checked the locks 3 times, looked out the window 4 times, couldn't sleep. Maybe she's paranoid. Maybe 5 years of peace has made her jumpy. Or maybe her instincts are right. She thinks about what Tae-min said once. I trust desperate people. They're honest about what they want. She was desperate then, drowning in debt, willing to do anything to save her mother. She's not desperate anymore. But she's still honest about what she wants. She wants Kai safe. She wants him happy. She wants him to have choices. And if the Kang family comes for him, she'll fight with everything she has, because that's what Tae-min did. He fought for his son. He restructured his entire empire, rewrote his will, made enemies of his own family, all for a child he'd never meet. Maya can do the same. Kai is in bed now, asleep, nightlight glowing softly. Maya sits at her kitchen table, laptop open, staring at attorney Shin's email. Her finger hovers over the reply button. She could ignore it, keep running, keep hiding, or she could face it. Set terms, control the narrative before they control it for her. She doesn't know what's right. But she knows this. On Kai's 18th birthday, he'll learn everything. The trust, the money, the empire, and he'll have to choose. Be Kai Chen, a normal kid from Portland who grew up safe and loved. Or Kang Tae-jun, heir to a criminal empire worth $400 million. She can't make that choice for him. All she can do is give him the tools, the truth, the love, and hope he chooses wisely. Because the world Tae-min left behind, it's still there, waiting. The Baeko syndicate didn't disappear. It fractured, splinters fighting for control. Han Ji-soo sold pieces to rival families. Sora tried to hold it together, but failed. It's chaos now, leaderless, desperate, and Kai, whether he knows it or not, is the rightful heir, the one person who could unite it, or destroy it completely. Maya closes the laptop. Not tonight. Tonight, she's just a mother, watching her son sleep, grateful for another day of peace. Tomorrow she'll decide. Tomorrow she'll figure out how to protect him from a legacy he never asked for. But tonight they're safe, and that's enough. What would you do, if you were Kai? If you had inherited millions, but it came from a world that almost killed your mother? If you've enjoyed this story, hit subscribe button and drop a comment with your favorite moment. It helps the channel grow.